This is our first podcast together,
right.
talking about our TV show, Uncommon Success. Why don't you explain to our viewers why we are filming a show called Uncommon Success?
Because we've owned a number of businesses over the years, quite a few actually, and right now we own 3 of them, and we've acquired all 3 of them in an uncommon way.
Hence, Uncommon Success. So we are going to take this first podcast and explain the 3 businesses we own and how we acquired them in an uncommon way. The oldest business would be Heat for Less. Let's start with that one.
Heat for Less is an infrared heater company. It's just a small 110 outlet heater you plug in to your outlet, and it can heat up to 1,000 square feet with no other heat source. So that's what Heat for Less sells.
Yep.
The way it started is, wow.
You owned another business, which...
Well, but I'm going back even before that. So my wife and I,
Yes.
we actually had foster kids.
That's right.
And there were 2 girls and a boy.
Yep.
They were all siblings. Mm-hmm. And the first time we fostered, and they were teenagers. Mm-hmm. And we took them for a hayride and ice cream at a place that was called the Ole Turnpike Dairy.
Yes.
And so I don't know how.
So I remember, because I was along,
Okay.
It was a school fundraiser for Daniel Boone High School, those of you that are listening local to us. And the youngest foster daughter said to you, she said, "Hey, Dad," because she actually called you Dad. She said, "Dad, why don't you have a corn maze here?" Because in the past, one of the businesses you owned was a corn maze. So that is what got the ball rolling.
So then I spoke with the gentleman who was given the hay rides, and he said, well, the owner is inside, because I asked, do you think they would be interested in doing a corn maze here? And he said, well, they do a fall fest here already. That's why we were there, was for the fall fest, but there wasn't a corn maze. There's a little dinky one, but not a high tech like we do. And so I went in, and sure enough, the owners were there, started talking to them, and
we came back a different time, just you and I. It was nighttime. And they gave us a tour of the entire facility.
I didn't even remember that.
It turned into them offering us a business opportunity. They were looking for somebody to run their ice cream parlor and their restaurant and their petting zoo and their fall festival. And they didn't advertise that, but when you approached them, they wanted us to run everything.
And then of course we did eventually. So
and Mom did not want the business.
From day one she didn't like that business very much at all. She even said, "Jeff, if you buy that business, I'm leaving. I'm telling you, I'm leaving." I
don't blame her. Walking into that place the first day
it needed to be cleaned up a bit.
That was the first time. I was 15 years old at the time. That was the first time I ever walked into a business and kind of got a behind the scene of somebody other than you and Mom. Because I grew up with you owning businesses my entire life. So walking into somebody's already running business and then taking over was like gross. It was like a earth-shattering moment where I'm like, wow, like not everybody runs a business like my parents.
But the potential was there. Because the clientele is already established. So the petting zoo was really a big drawing card, and they made 40 flavors of their own ice cream right there in-house. And so I just felt the potential was right.
So I have a question. How does this ice cream parlor, restaurant, petting zoo, corn maze relate to a heater business? I mean,
we're getting to that. So I had owned the business. I renamed the business rather than the Ole Dairy. I called it the Family Time Farm, and that's the business that I had started there. And we're leasing the property, the land and the buildings and so on. And so the oil furnace broke, so we didn't have any heat in the building.
Can you describe the oil furnace to me?
Well, I will. So there was at the restaurant. The neat thing about owning the restaurant, it was like something.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is a podcast. We need to talk slow.
Oh, okay.
The really neat thing about owning the restaurant was
that you got to know people. It was sort of like the Andy Griffith show.
It really was, going back in
Old
time.
Old farmers coming in, sitting down. There was one guy, he would come in and say, Ramey.
Oh,
and he would sit down. He would he would know almost everybody there, and he would just walk up to their table and sit down and start talking with them and join them for lunch.
And the waitresses, myself included, would come up and sit down with them and talk. We knew their orders before they even sat down. They would come in at a certain time, and you almost knew when they were going to come in and eat. Yeah. We even had a famous, I know this is way off topic, but we had a famous female baseball player as a regular.
Ruth. Ruth was her first name. When she was younger, she was a softball pitcher. Yes. And she was like, I think the like #1 in the country or something. Yeah. And so she also she had a private booth at the Reading Phillies.
Yep.
For her and her guests to go and stuff.
We had some cool customers, but we got to know them, and so the heater.
So the one person I got to know, just a really nice guy, he and his wife, and they would come in on a regular basis, and he was telling me about these infrared heaters. I'd never heard of an infrared heater. I didn't know what it was. Right. And he said, I have 6 of them. And he said, I heat my whole house with them. My kids heat their houses with them. If you ever want to try them, let me know. So when the furnace broke, the oil furnace broke, I'm telling you, the furnace was old. It was so old, it looked like it came over on Noah's Ark. I mean, it was old. It was real. And I said to the owner, I said, man,
it was huge. It was
I am not paying anything to fix this thing. It's a piece of junk. It was a piece of junk. So I called this guy up and I said, hey, the oil furnace broke there at the dairy. Could I borrow some of your heaters? He said, sure. How many do you want? I said, 4. He said, no problem. So I went to his house, picked up 4 of them, and I was heating, it was 6,000 square feet, 5,000, 6,000, I don't remember, something like that, square feet with 4 of them, using no other heat source. Now remember, there were like freezers and refrigerators, there was a grill in the kitchen, so some things were producing heat already. Right. But there were high ceilings as well, higher than in your home. Yeah. So the thing is that I was heating the whole area with it, the restaurant, the ice cream parlor, the offices. I think we might have one in the kitchen where they make ice cream and stuff, I'm not sure. Anyway, so people were coming in saying, where could I buy one of them? So a light bulb went on. Yep, there you go, okay. And so I said, well, if I sold them here, do you want to buy one? And customers saying, yeah. So I bought 1 pallet of them. Which are 24 heaters. 24 heaters.
Per pallet.
And if I recall, I don't think I had enough money to even buy that. I think, because in fact, the gentleman who lent me the heaters ended up becoming an investor in my company.
How did I not know this?
Well, he lent me enough to buy 1 pallet, which would have been, just about $5,000, so not much. But I was all in. I didn't have, I was cash poor. Then we sold them. Yeah. And we sold them, if I remember correctly, in the ice cream parlor section. There was like some tables, and then you put up a screen and just had a movie playing explaining what an infrared heater was. I put up a big rear screen projection. It was a sheet, and put a border around it, had the projector behind it, and I was storing inventory behind it. And people would sit down and eat ice cream. They would watch the video, and they would then get up and go home.
Buy a heater.
Go home with a heater. They came for ice cream, and they went home with a heater.
Yeah.
So anyway, at that time, that company, that brand that I was selling, they had territories, and if any store wanted to buy their heaters, they needed to buy it through a distributor who owned the territory. So I had a 6-county area. If a store owner wanted to sell the heaters in their stores, they had to buy them through my company. Right. And I sold 500 the first year. And so
out of an ice cream parlor.
Out of an ice cream parlor. And I thought, this is interesting, and it was also profitable. So
unlike the restaurant.
Well, the second year, your mom says the same thing, but
I say it because she said it. She did the bookkeeping.
The first year we lost money.
Okay.
But it's the first year of owning the business. We had to make a lot of changes. We invested a lot of money. The second year, I think it was $41,000 profit the second year. Okay. And we're going back quite a few years.
Long time ago.
A while ago. So
16 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how we got into the infrared heater business. And then
it did better than the only family time farm business. So you got out of that lease, and then we opened up our first storefront. You want to talk about that? I mean, come on. Our first storefront was, what, 300 square feet? It was in somebody's garage alongside of a major highway.
Well,
there was no bathroom. If I had to go to the bathroom, I had to lock up and then drive home and pee and come back to work.
It was a 2-car garage that was renovated into an office. So it's not as though you say a garage, I'm picturing garage doors going up. No.
It
was a small storefront.
Humble beginnings.
Actually,
is what it was.
the warehouse was a trailer, a tractor trailer.
Yes.
That was the warehouse. We kept all the inventory in the trailer.
Yes.
And in the wintertime, you got to go out there. It's freezing cold, icy snow. And we weren't there long. I think
2 months.
2 months. That's what I was thinking. It was 2 months. So then we ended up going to a 3,000 square foot facility. And that was a nice facility there.
It was very
right
nice.
Along a highway, Route 422 in
It was
Gilbertsville.
nice, except the bathroom, you had to walk outside and go into another building to use the bathroom. So
yeah,
that was not cool. So now, today, we're
Yes.
in 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And we are completely out of room.
Yeah.
So
warehouse
it's really
is full.
exciting to see our Heat for Less business grow. Ace Hardware is our largest account. We're in all their warehouses across the country. So that is how Heat for Less started. We owned a petting zoo, ice cream parlor, restaurant, fall festival business. Noah's Ark's heater broke. And we sold infrared heaters, and now we are a nationally branded company. So that's pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
What's the next one? Which one do you want next?
I think we should do the corn maze.
Okay.
So.
That's a corny one. Let's do that next.
Oh, shucks.
Ah, shucks, you got that. Let's move on.
So we own a high-tech corn maze. It is about 5 acres of corn fusing fun where we make lots of jokes. It's just a family-friendly atmosphere. So fun to be involved in that business. This year, Dad, this year is our combined 20th anniversary of owning a corn maze business together. So when I was about 6 years old, you opened the second corn maze in the entire country, to our knowledge.
That's right.
And I grew up in the industry. I knew right out of high school that's what I wanted to do. So I opened my first corn maze at 18 years old. We did not own a farm. That is what makes this so unique and uncommon. So growing up, the business was called Corn Stalking USA.
Right.
And then when I graduated high school, I reopened the business because you had gone on to other business ventures at the time. So I opened my own LLC, and we didn't own a farm. So what makes it so unique is you started the business by renting land. Then I reopened the business renting land. We don't know how to farm. We joke, you're farmer wannabe.
Farmer wannabe.
I mean, look at the hat and everything. He's got the whole getup. But he's not a farmer, I'm not a farmer, and yet we own a corn maze business. 3 years ago, purchased our first farm.
I said we're never going to do a corn maze again unless we own the land, because it is so intense to set this up. It cost a minimum of $30,000. And at this location, it actually cost a lot more than that.
I don't want to go there. I'm still 3 years into it and still investing.
Yeah, we spend a lot more than that. And the thing is, you spend all that money and time and effort setting up the business, and then the landowner passed away in the one case, and someone's the farmer, their financial situation got dire, so that we couldn't. And so I said, unless we own it, the land. So we were looking for at least 2 years. And we looked at quite a few. But the thing is that we wanted a farm that doesn't have houses nearby, because we don't want them to complain about, the hay rides or the noise or
traffic.
Yeah. So we came upon this property, and it's a perfect location for what we're doing. It's been a blast. And attendance, we're doubling. The second year we doubled attendance from the first year, and last year we doubled the year before. And every indication is we're going to at least double again this year. So
yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
One thing that makes our story uncommon this go around: we own a farm, we have a corn maze. And And it just so happens the farm next door is for sale at the same time as the farm that we just purchased.
Well, just before I closed on the farm where the Gilbertsville farm is currently.
Our corn maze.
We
never gave them the new name. The Gilbertsville farm is our new name.
Yeah. And
because we're in Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And I am going to build an empire using the Gilbertsville ...
Yep.
One day. That's my dream.
Yep.
So, what do you want to say?
Before I even closed on the farm, the people that I bought it from said, the horse farm next door, I hear that might be for sale. And there wasn't any for sale sign up out front, because I rode by and there was no for sale sign. And I said, okay. And so I did some research. I found their phone number online. I called them and I said, told them who I am, and I was wondering if they would be interested in selling their farm, their horse farm. I said, I really don't need a place to live. You can keep living there if you want. And they were all excited, and they said, oh yeah, we need to meet. We need to meet.
So you met with them. They were excited to do an agreement with you.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes it so uncommon, though, is we actually took over their mortgage payment.
Well, yeah, I didn't know it at the time. The place was under foreclosure.
Yeah.
It was like they were going to have it taken out from under them, and it was also scheduled for a sheriff's sale. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I had never dealt with foreclosure or sheriff's sale. I didn't know what I was doing really, but I just made phone calls. I called the lawyer that they had gotten to apply for the some type of relief from foreclosure and bank. It was under bankruptcy. It was under bankruptcy.
There were multiple liens on the property.
Yeah.
And multiple mortgages pooled on the property. There were a ton of moving parts.
Yeah.
It took us how many? Like 2.5 years to close officially on
I think it was 3 years.
3
years?
It
took 3 years to close. A little over 3, actually.
It was a process.
It really was.
And you touched on something really interesting, though. With this whole thing, you said, I've never dealt with a foreclosure before.
Right.
When it comes to business ownership, we both never went to college.
Right.
We are 100% self-taught. You dropped out of high school. I mean, like, just those sheer facts, the fact that we own these 3 businesses and all the ones previous to date, I mean, that is so uncommon. Today, the world is, you need to go to college. You got to go to college.
Yeah.
When truth is, you don't always have to go to college to open a business. There are so many free resources out there that you can really do it.
For sure. If you went to college, you would be so far in debt right now.
Yeah.
Rather than putting money in the bank, you'd be paying off a loan.
So Northwind Stable, what is it?
It's a 95-acre horse boarding facility. We don't own any horses.
Nope.
We don't ride horses.
Nope.
They're fun to look at.
Yep.
But they're an expensive hobby.
Very much so.
And so I would rather other people pay me for their expensive hobby rather than you and me having an expensive hobby that we're paying to somebody else.
This is true. So we acquired, not acquired, but we purchased a horse farm. When we took over ownership, the people living in the home were supposed to live there free of charge. In exchange, we would run this horse business and we would own their farm. They did not hold up part of their bargain. They were supposed to help with the horses. They did not. And so we had to get family involved to help move them along. They're doing well now. They're really in a good spot.
Yeah.
Their children are thankful that we came in and bought the farm and helped them remove their parents. Right. So all of that is like really positive.
Yes.
But the horse farm was in horrible condition. We didn't know what we were getting into. We thought we did, but we did not.
Well, there were 21 horses there when we took over, and it was so bad that the very first day that I had possession of the farm, I had to have a vet come in and inspect the horses because one was not doing well. I said, well, check them all. And the one was in such bad shape that it had to be put down on the spot.
It was unfortunate.
And it couldn't walk. It was bleeding so bad from all the flies eating at it because it didn't have enough energy to get rid of the flies by swinging the tail or tapping its foot on the ground or anything. So it was, and then there were 2 stallions, which are boy horses. For those of you who don't know much about horses, they're boy horses.
We didn't know anything. We barely knew anything. We learned a lot.
Well, there were boy horses that
were not cut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's called a gelding.
Correct.
See, we didn't know any of this.
I mean, we're still learning.
We're still learning. We're still learning. So, but the 2 stallions at one point had a lot of value.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they still had value.
Yeah.
But by the time we acquired them, they didn't have much value.
No.
And they were in a stall that had 3 feet of poo. And
there is nothing like it. You can't even, words don't explain what we walked into.
There was an indoor arena. There is an indoor arena.
Yeah.
And they kept one stallion in the indoor arena, the other in a stall, and then every few days he would flip them around. But the arena was never picked. So
meaning the poop wasn't cleaned out.
It was just all kinds of poo.
It was gross.
It was gross.
One of the first things I did was hand rake with a hard rake. I hand raked the entire indoor arena.
Well, that was after we scooped the poo out.
Scooped the poop, but we did so much work. We had guys in the stalls. First of all, we didn't mention, we got rid of all the horses.
Oh yeah.
And there was a girl around my age who was running a very successful horse barn in our area. And so she was very instrumental in helping us with making decisions. We kind of found ourselves a coach to help move the place forward.
Yeah.
So we got rid of the horses and then had guys come in, and it took them a long time to clean out. We have 16 stalls and all of them were 3 feet of poop.
Yeah.
And that poop was like rock solid.
Yeah. None of the stalls had proper footing. There was no footing, actually.
Yeah.
So after we scooped the poo out, then we dug it out, and then we put screening in, which is fine stone, and then we put mats in. Prior to that, there were no mats. In fact, half of them, 8 stalls, were actually underwater.
Yeah.
And so...
And there were horses in them.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
We did a lot. In fact, at the house, there was a swimming pool, above ground swimming pool outside of the house.
Yes.
And you couldn't see the swimming pool.
That's right.
It was all overgrown that you couldn't even see there was a swimming pool there.
That's
right. He said, well, we have that swimming pool out there. I built that and we hardly ever used it. And I said, oh, there's a swimming pool out there? It was a mess. And the weeds were up to the bottom of the roof.
In front of the stable.
In front of the stable, all across from the stable.
It was
That's
like
how
trees.
bad it was.
It looked like trees in front of the stable.
Yeah.
And then the inside of the house, again, they were elderly. They collected a lot over their years. The way that the deal went down, we ended up with a lot of their possessions and had to empty the house of all of their things. How many dumpsters?
Well, it was at least 2, but I'm sort of thinking it might have been 2.5.
Big ones.
Oh,
the big ones.
They weren't dumpsters.
Ones.
They were roll-offs.
Yeah.
They were the big roll-off things, and we filled them up.
Yeah. So much work.
Yes.
Like, looking back at what we did in 3 years is absolutely insane.
Yeah. You gotta put pictures up.
I will.
You will?
Yeah.
Cool. Seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
Well, that's how we ended up with 3 businesses in an uncommon way. And we're uncommon people.
Very uncommon.
And we are loving the ride. Enjoy the journey. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Yeah. Enjoy the journey. If you're not enjoying life now, then change your life, because you need to enjoy the journey. You only get to live it once.
But we aren't living YOLO. You only live once. That's not really what we're getting at here. That's really what it sounded like, Dad. That's not how we live our life. We don't YOLO. Okay. We live our lives on purpose. And we make sure we enjoy the business that we are running.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
it's no fun to run a business you don't enjoy. And we enjoy learning. Yeah. All these businesses, we've done something new and we've learned a lot. So make sure to subscribe for our next podcast, dropping next week. We're going to be posting videos every week about our 3 businesses and our father-daughter entrepreneur spirit. Cool. We'll see you in the next video.
You get it?
I get it.
Okay.